Hello, I'm Jim Simpson, and for the next few minutes we're going to be telling you all about ESPN, its concept, its physical plant, and what it can mean for you. ESPN was conceived as a total sports cable network. We cover sports, all kinds of sports, and because we have chosen to specialize, we're going to be the best source of sports information and events anywhere on your television dial. The development of satellite communication is the major reason why ESPN has grown from a futuristic programming concept into a broadcasting reality, a reality which can reach into millions of homes across the country as Satcom-1 orbits the Earth 23,000 miles above us. In fact, we'll be increasing our broadcasting capacity in the not-too-distant future when RCA launches Satcom-3. We have already acquired rights to a piece of the new bird when it goes into service. Come a long way since we first went on the air back on September the 7th, and in 90 days we have telecast more than 1,200 hours of sports programming. 1,200 hours. To give you an idea, the three networks together put on about 1,400 hours of sports programming during the course of an entire year. And also we have moved from rented mobile trucks out in back of our studios here in Bristol, Connecticut, into a modern broadcast facility absolutely second to none. Obviously, we are quite proud of our place here in Bristol and of the people who run our plant. And we'd like you to meet some of those people on, unfortunately, what must be a rather whirlwind tour of the place here we call home. I often wonder what a motorist thinks when he drives down Middle Street here in Bristol, Connecticut for the first time and sees what we call our uplink and our downlink. Looks like Star Trek or Star Wars, doesn't it? Basically, the uplink sends the picture up, the downlink brings it back. That's how we get the pictures in, and that's how we send the pictures out. But there's a lot more to it that goes on inside the building. Let's take a look in there. Every time I come through that door, I wonder how many hours a day. Well, I know how many hours a day. 24 hours a day, a lot of people come through that door into this, the technical center. As we told you, a lot of our programming is live, but because of time limitations, a lot of our programming has to be on tape. That means you've got to have a lot of tape machines, a lot of videotape. We've got lots of both. Look, I'd like to have the coffee concession for this room, the tape room. This is manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Over there we have the new standard for the television tape industry. That is the 1-inch tape. On the far wall we've got our cassettes, much like you have at home. And behind us, the standard of years almost gone by, that is the 2-inch machine. But they tell me that for ESPN, for videotape stock alone, the budget for a single year is more than $1 million. So the heck with that coffee concession, I'd like to be the videotape salesman. Next stop, Master Control. About 25 years ago, give or take a year or two, I was working at a brand new television station in the Washington area, and for our dedication, we were very fortunate. We had President Dwight David Eisenhower there. He took one look at the Master Control Room and said, "It reminds me of a war room." And indeed it does. Telephones to talent, to videotape, to studio control, microphones that can reach the same. Behind us, we have incoming tape, incoming feeds, the programs that are going out on the air. Master Control is responsible for putting our programs on the air, putting it on that satellite, and sending it out of here. Also in the same room, we have two kinds of electronic graphics. They're called the Chiron and the Vidifon. They're the things that spell out the names across the bottom of the picture so you know who the players are, or get a visual reaction of what the score is. Now remember, this is what puts the shows out on the air. This is not what produces the show. Studio control may look just the same to you as master control, but the purpose is much different. Master control puts the show out on the satellite, out on the air. In the studio control, where you have the director, the producer, the technician, the audio man back there, this is where we put the shows together. We roll the film. We can preview what's on each camera. And this is the place also where we can have a lot of fun with those special things that they love to play with called special effects. Chet Simmons, the president of ESPN, had a statement before we went on the air. He said, "We are in the business of news." He said, "The only difference is that all of our news is sports news. And so we approach it the same way as any network would approach a news story. We approach our sports stories. We have here reporters, our commentators working here, our producers come in to figure out what it is they want to do on the air. We have copy people here to run the fresh and the hot copy right down to the studio. We run it just like a newsroom that you'd find anywhere in the country. Only we at ESPN deal only in sports." Well, this is it. This is our main studio. I've been in television for a long while, and a lot of exciting things happen in the studio, but I've always thought the studios really don't look that exciting, do they? Cameras sitting around, cables all over the floor. We have ladders in the background to which they go up and reach the lights. But it is here, as you can see behind me, we originate our SportsCenter. That's our daily coverage of all the things that are going on in the world of sports around the world. And we think it is an excellent show. You've already heard from our senior announcer, George Grant, who teams on this show with Lee Leonard. And there's Bob Waller and Bob Lee. They are very good. Tom Mees and Greg Wyatt and Chris Berman. This is where they work, in the main studio here at ESPN. On weekends, ESPN brings you round-the-clock sports coverage. And during the rest of the week, we average about 12 hours a day of programming. Now, eventually, we'll be broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, as we've said, the range and the scope of this programming is the most ambitious ever attempted. But George Grant, our senior announcer for SportsCenter, can tell you more about that.
We've been breaking new ground hour by hour, day by day, week by week, always bringing you the very best in sports.
The top team in the nation, the Crimson Tide of Alabama, will be at Baton Rouge, Louisiana this week for a tough game against the LSU Tigers. And you'll be there, too. Jim Simpson and Irv Brown follow all of the action for you here on ESPN.
Where else on the television dial can you find up to 5 NCAA college football games every fall weekend? For the first time ever, college hockey is coming front and center with over 50 NCAA Division I events, and it covers over 6 months of competition. The ESPN sports team is following the Winter Olympics all the way down the trail to the Winter Games in 1980. We're bringing you exclusive coverage of the United States Olympic hockey team. How about professional bowling, the PBA Tour? Well, for the first time ever, ESPN brought the fall tour to television. How does over 150 college basketball games sound? No one has ever attempted anything like that, but ESPN is doing it.
International basketball exclusively here on ESPN. The tall and talented Soviet national team continues a U.S. tour with a visit to Provo, Utah. ESPN cameras will be there as the Soviets take on the Cougars of Brigham Young University. Fred White handles play-by-play action, Billy Packer the analyst. The Soviets and BYU Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific time, here on ESPN.
You have seen how we bring our sporting events into the homes of our viewers from our home here in Bristol, Connecticut. But how do we produce the broadcasts? Well, the answer is remote trucks. And this is a model of one of 3 such units that we will be using to cover sports across the country. Now, basically, it is a self-contained television station, complete with cameras, a video switcher, an audio console, plus all the other ingredients needed to either put it on live or to send it back here for a playback at a later date. Well, there you have a brief look at what we here at ESPN are all about. It's an ambitious undertaking, but we're making it work. And I'm sure that if you've seen any of our coverage over these last several weeks, you know that ESPN is committed to quality. And as we continue to grow, we know that our affiliate family will grow with us. And we think that the total sports cable format is a formula that simply cannot miss. And we'd like you to come along for the ride and reap the benefits too.
I've seen what the new cars have to sell, but I'm not sold. Toyota, what have you got?
The Celica Experience, the 1979 Toyota Celica GT liftback.
You got a Toyota.
Celica's aerodynamics for better performance, surer road stability, more interior comfort.
You got a Toyota. Form and function in perfect harmony. It's a beautiful thing to see. You got a Toyota. You got it.
The beauty of a dynamic 2.2-liter engine.
You got it.
The beauty of a smooth as silk 5-speed overdrive transmission.
You got it, Toyota.
The Celica Experience. Form, function, beauty, harmony, quality.
You got it, Toyota.
Toyota, you have got it.
You asked for it. You got it, Toyota.
He sort of settled down a little bit.
Strike out for 227, and there's yet another one. You know, there are two different thoughts of this. A Tom Baker who might go all the way to win, bowling and bowling and bowling, or Mark Roth sitting around just to bowl one match, do or die. Some would rather be in one position, others would rather be in another.
Well, I had talked to Mark previously, and he said that he likes the number one position the best.
Yes, sir. He strikes out for 227 and handily beats Johnny Petraglia, who wins $3,500. As for Tom Baker, he will go on to meet the doomsday stroking machine. That is Earl Anthony. Match 2 coming up after this pause.
If anyone knows how to build a championship tennis ball, it's Penn. In fact, Penn makes more tennis balls than anyone in America. And tests them electronically for quality and response to give the serious player the kind of tennis ball he demands. Long play, lively bounce, and consistent performance off the racket. Penn, the ball to play when you're serious about tennis.
This bud's for every man who works with fire and steel.
This bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do, this bud's for you.
I think Joe Berardi said it best in our opening when he said, "What can you say about Earl Anthony?" Here's a man that has won 31 PBA titles. That's the all-time PBA record. He's had 21 300 games in his career. He's had 3 of those this year, including one in the tournament up at Windsor Locks, Connecticut. And his bowling goal, to remain bowling's all-time leader in championships and become the first bowler to win $1 million in earnings. And I'll caution again before Joe starts talking about Earl Anthony and his match with Tom Baker, and that is 7 times before tonight. He has been on national television, and 7 times he has only won 1 title. And for Earl Anthony, that is a disappointment. He is an outstanding bowler. And now he's against young Tom Baker. And whereas Earl has won 31 tournaments, Tom Baker has not won 1.
Well, Earl is so accustomed to television, and it really is, like you said, there's nothing more you can say about him. If anybody could win $1 million, Earl can, because he's that proficient on the lanes.
Tom Baker, like Mark Roth, whom he may meet, is a big hockey fan. Loves to play it, loves to watch it. starting out on lane 17 and starting out with a strike.
Well, Earl's choosing to finish on lane 17, which, as we said earlier, was the easier of the two lanes.
And the seated players get their choice?
Yes.
Now, this is a lane they've been having a lot of trouble with, but not Earl Anthony.
No, Earl, as you can see, doesn't take too much time on the approach. And his game is so almost perfect. Speed never varies, which is one of the toughest part of bowling.
We said that Earl has won 31 tournaments. He has finished second 32 times. That's 63 times with a chance to win it all. Incredible. And he's starting out incredibly.
Well, that's what you want to do, especially to a newcomer like Tom Baker, who doesn't have a title. You want to get out of the gate fast.
Tom Baker saw Johnny Petraglia have a horrible night, opening in two different frames. But now he's looking at Earl Anthony, who's starting out by striking in frames 1 and 2 and putting the burden right back on Baker.
Well, Tommy wants to get this shot off and make it a real good one to stay even with Earl, because you don't want to put yourself in a position, especially against Earl, where you have to strike out.
Good-looking ball, however, he has left the 4.
Well, Tommy pulled the ball a little that time. He didn't give it quite enough room as he did the previous game on the right-hand lane.
Tommy's had a couple of 300 games this year. And in the Miller High Life Open, he had 2. Trying to cover the 4 and does so. Tom has not had the greatest record on television this year. He's been on the 3 matches and has won 1 of the 3.
And guess who he won that 1 match from?
Probably the same guy that Mark Roth beat in the finals.
That's correct. Big Reedwood in the end.
Oh, that's good. I remember one time when Lee Trevino was 12 over after 1 round in the World Series of Golf, and I was working that with Arnold Palmer. And to make Lee, who at that time was very young and just beginning to win, feel better, I said, 12 over? I know a man that got 12 on 1 hole. Remember Arnold Palmer in Los Angeles Open? He kept hitting him out of bounds. And Arnold just laughs because it happened. I mean, what else can you say?
That's right. Another.
Oh, whoa, there goes the tap.
Well, that's another break of the game. The ball was a little light. Earl looked a little worried, but all the pins went down.
So he's up by 20 pins through the 3rd frame.
We'll see. Now, this is going to be a difficult situation for Tommy, because especially to give Earl a lead, and Earl looks locked into both lanes now.
You know the possibility, don't you, that Earl Anthony and Mark Roth could meet in the finals, and you would just see a hunk of bowling talent.
That would be the perfect
in
setting.
That match. Yes, sir. That's the way to do it. 4 frames, 4 strikes. Earl Anthony leading by 30 pins. And we'll come back in just a moment in match 2.
Once again there's a feeling inside of me, nothing new. I felt it before.
There's a Hilton waiting somewhere along the way.
'Cause there's places that I've never been to, sunsets to be ridden into. Not a lot I can do but give in to the drifter in me.
When there's a drifter in you, there's no place like Hilton.
There's no place like Hilton.
This C-130 Hercules is one of the most versatile aircraft in the Air Force. It's also a prime transport and cargo carrier in commercial aviation. You can't beat the technical training you'll get by being a member of the Air Force Reserve. Believe me, it'll put you way out in front in the job competition. Find out about all the benefits of the Air Force Reserve.
Call now, toll-free, 1-800-257-1212.
Jim Simpson with Joe Berardi. And Joe, Basketball was invented by Dr. James Naismith in Springfield, Massachusetts. No question. You don't have to wonder where it came from, out of what sport it evolved. It was invented, and the rules are still on the wall of the Hall of Fame up there. But it's become very international, and on ESPN, later in the month, you'll see Brigham Young against the USSR, LSU against Yugoslavia, Notre Dame against the USSR, UCLA against Poland, and many others. It is truly now an international sport. Poland, Yugoslavia, and the USSR all touring the United States in the month of November. Tom Baker down by 30 pins, frame 4.
It's a big shot here. That's
the kind of big shot you want. That cuts it down by 10.
Well, he's coming to his good lane now, and he could cut the margin down to a 10-pin deficit. But then again, Earl Anthony looks like he doesn't want to throw anything but strikes.
On the lane he likes better. If he gets his 3rd consecutive strike, his 4th of this match, he will be down by only 10 pins. When he started on lane 18 just 1 ball ago, he was down by 30. Now he'll try to cut it from 30 to 20 down to 10, and does.
That was a beautiful shot. Tommy, this will end in a high-scoring match.
Well, this is what we expected.
Yes.
A high-scoring match. We did not see it in the last match. 227 to 187. Earl Anthony, you know what he's done. Frames 1, 2, 3, 4. Strike, 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 strike.
Well, that's just Earl's way of saying hello.
Welcome to the big leagues, Tom Baker.
That's it. It looks like he pulled it.
Yes, sir. Left the 2 at the 7.
Well, it's not like Earl. Earl usually doesn't make too many bad shots, but this one he pulled a little at the bottom of the swing. And
you know, you can talk about his swing, what he did at the bottom of the swing, but it's amazing how true it has become. Disaster has usually befallen, or near disaster, on lane 18, this right-hand lane. Oh, yeah, that's the way to get out of it. Up now by only 8 pins, however.
Well, from the way it's going now, it looks like whoever conquers lane 18 will come out ahead.
What you hear in the background, the other pins falling, is Paul Moser, who is next up to face the winner of this match. Mark Roth hasn't started to tune up yet, but of course they were all here hours before the matches began and practiced for a long time. Earl Anthony, no sir, he has left himself, whoops, just the 4.
Carroll got a very, very good break there. He made another bad shot and left the 4-pin.
You could have gone right from opening, as he might have with that last split, to the probable spare here in frame 6.
Well, professional bowling isn't all strikes. You have to make whatever you leave.
Tommy Baker started out with a strike, spared the 2nd, is now working on 3 in a row and is down by only 7 pins. Remember, at one time, he was down by 30, and if he strikes here, he'll go up by 3, such as the swing in bowling.
Well, that's how easy this game can turn around. Earl started out like a house on fire, and now all of a sudden Tommy needs a strike to go ahead in the match. It looks like he pulled it a little.
Yes, sir. Oh, my. 4-7-6. If Houdini or Andy Verapapa are in the audience, we can call on him. Maybe Tom Baker can pull it off himself.
Well, Tommy, we're going to look at this and watch. At the bottom of his swing, he pulls the ball a little bit, not letting it out like the last 3 shots. He'll just go for the 2 here.
And has. Every week that we've been on the fall PBA Tour here on ESPN, the first game winner has gone all the way to the title match. Let's see if that happens. If Tom Baker can win here, he is now down by 22 after opening, so we may have a precedent, mild as it is, broken.
Well, the one thing you don't want to do is give Earl Anthony a chance. That was a big shot Tommy had, and unfortunately for Tommy, he made a mistake. That looks a little better.
Left himself the 10, however.
Well, circled the ball a little bit. It didn't get back with the power that the 3 he had previous to that hit.
When you bowl on television, does it really get you that you're on television, or can you put it aside after the first ball or two?
Well, a lot of people say it's easy to put aside, but it's not, because you're aware of all the lights, the cameras, and the silence.
Okay, now Earl Anthony is quickly up again by 22 pins as Tom Baker takes a seat, and we'll come back to Fairview Park outside of Cleveland, Ohio, where you're watching the $83,000 Lawson's Open.
Well, here we are. Yeah. Well, did you ever think this day had come, Dad? Me going off to college and all?
Nope.
But Dad, I want to thank you for this.
Thank you, Ma. Couldn't send you except she made you sign up for those savings bonds.
Well, I'm sure glad you listened to her for once.
College can come sooner than you think. Join your payroll savings plan and buy bonds.
The National Youth Sports Program is dedicated to expanding opportunities for the nation's economically disadvantaged youth. In the summer of 1978, nearly 55,000 young people participated in the NYSP, now in its 10th year. NYSP provides instruction in football, basketball, swimming, track and field, and many lifetime sports. NYSP also means health education, counseling and study and career and educational opportunities, summer employment for hundreds of college students and inner-city youth. 142 universities and colleges in 43 states will conduct NYSP activities this year at a cost of over $7 million. The National Youth Sports Program is providing young people an opportunity to realize their talents and potential, building a positive attitude for today's youth, preparing better citizens for tomorrow. The preceding has been a message furnished by the NCAA.
No question. We've got it all for you here on ESPN, including NCAA hockey. Such games coming up as Michigan and Notre Dame and Northeastern and Harvard. And how far do we go? All the way until March, when we have the NCAA hockey championships in divisions 1, 2, and 3 here on ESPN. Right now it is bowling. We're in Fairview Park outside of Cleveland, Ohio. We're in frame 7. Earl Anthony with a 22-pin lead. The loser gets $4,000. The winner goes into match 3, the semifinals, against Paul Moser. Anthony working on a spare in frame 6.
Oh, that was a much better shot. Earl got the ball out a little farther on the lane, stayed with it all the way, and you saw the result.
Earl Anthony. Love his name. I use it enough. Everybody does. The Doomsday Stroking Machine.
Well, it fits him.
Up by 22 pins. This is the lane they like. And maybe that's why.
Yeah, well, it is the easier of the two. Well, these are two crucial shots for Tom Baker. He can strike the game out for 235, and Earl right now is going at a 230 plus pace.
Anthony leading by 32 pins as Baker steps up in frame 8. Tommy cut it from 30 down to 7. Could have gone up by 3, but instead opened.
Oh.
That was in frame 6, and now he gets the 10 to leave the 7, so spared a little bit there.
Well, he did the same thing as the previous shot on that lane. He got to the bottom of the swing and pulled the ball almost across his body. And we're going to take a look at that again. And everything's fine up until the bottom of the swing. And it looks like he just tried to give it a little extra.
Now to cover the 7th. And does so. He has 33 pins down. Well, looks like Earl Anthony's going to get a shot here, doesn't it? And it looks like Tommy Baker, who's never won, will not win and will take $4,000, but that's not bad.
Well, it's not over yet. Tommy can strike out for a possible 224.
But he's got to strike, right?
He has to strike. And the result of that, Earl would have to stay clean. One open could result in a loss for Earl Anthony.
Has to have a strike, or, well, he left the 10.
No, it's the same thing. Ball didn't grab at the back end of the lane, and resulting in a flat 10, as we call it.
34 pin difference. Now Mark Roth has joined Paul Moser in the lanes to our right. Getting ready as Tom Baker in frame 9 goes to cover the 10. Now let's see if Earl Anthony simply just slams the door here.
Well, knowing Earl, that would be his only choice.
Didn't quite, did he?
Well, that ball looked good, but again, like in Johnny Petraglia when he left a 7-9 in the 9th frame, Earl's ball just didn't hit to the full capacity, breaking down the 7 and leaving the 9.
On to cover the 9. Does so. He's the winner. Earl Anthony is going to go on. He's closed him out with a spare the 9th. So Tommy Baker will get the $4,000, the knowledge that he has won one match here on national television. Earl Anthony has to look ahead to Paul Moser, standing between him and a title match with Mark Roth. Ooh, 4-7.
Well, Earl looks like he's just going through the paces now, thinking about what he's going to do the next match. Tommy did the one thing that you didn't want to do, is give Earl Anthony a chance. Resulted in where Tommy sits down and Earl goes on to the next match.
All in that 6th frame for Tommy Baker. Well, I'll repeat again. He could have gone up by 3 pins had he had a strike, but instead he opened. And that opened the door for Earl Anthony, who came back with strikes in 7 and 8. And now, as you have said, Joe Berardi is simply just playing out the string, looking ahead to Paul Moser. Left the 10 again. 233 for Earl Anthony. 6 pins better than Tommy Baker's score of match number 1 against Johnny Petraglia. And oh no, Tommy's not going to come anywhere near the score of 227 as he had in match number 1 as he left the 4 and 6.
Well, Tommy realizes that the game is over and he's really just trying to make it a little easier to get out a little quicker. But Tommy, we're going to look forward to seeing Tommy quite a bit.
Well, 233 for Earl Anthony, 190 for Tommy Baker. A disappointment, but Earl Anthony advances on. And Paul Moser, who's won 2 titles on the PBA Tour, is next up.
This Bud's for everyone who's into hot tracks and red-hot cars.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. The Budweiser Spider and the clean, crisp taste of the king of beers.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
You give tennis balls a serious workout. At Penn, we grind them to the core. You serve them. We fire them from cannons. You smash them. We crush them. You expect a lot from a tennis ball. We demand it. That's why Penn balls play so long, so lively, so consistently. When you play Penn, you know they'll meet your standards. They've already met ours.
His name is Paul Moser. He is 5 feet 4 inches tall, 32 years old, out of Somerset, Massachusetts, and this year has won a little bit more than $27,130. He has been on national television a couple of times this year and has lost both times. But look out for Paul Moser. He has been throwing well today, rolling well. His high game this week, a 289, and he's got to go against Earl Anthony. And like so many of the others, he is left-handed, and like so many of the others, he is also a hockey nut. There's Joe Antonora, who's the PBA commissioner, and he's got to be proud of how the tour has grown. Move over a little bit, Earl, so we can see him there. How the tour has grown, and how the houses fill up for one of the nation's most popular sports, bowling. in one of the most professional of all the professional sports organizations, the PBA. And take it from a guy that has to work with them, Earl Anthony.
Again, Paul is making Earl start on 17 as to finish on the more difficult of the two lanes.
And that helps, leaving the 3.
Oh, Earl just looked like he got a little quick there.
Thus far, Johnny Petraglia, who normally is with us, and Joe Berardi's filling in for him because Johnny made the finals, has won $3,500, and Tom Baker's won $4,000, and now the loser of this will get $5,000. The winner gets the chance for the full $11,000. Anthony's spare, frame 1. Here's Paul Moser. Paul was saying as he was warming up, he said, gee, I'm going to get a check. He said, that's why you come out here, isn't it? He said, I'd like to get a check.
Well, Paul usually gets a check almost every week. He is a very consistent casher on the tour. That ball looks good. For a 6-pin, he went a little high. And if you'll notice with Paul, he's a little quicker with his approach than any of our other players.
Twice this year, he was top seeded. He's won a couple of titles in his career. Started off the tournament in 30th place. After 2 rounds, he moved into 8th, and then he moved into number 3 for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round, and that is where he got to until he is seated 2nd here behind Mark Roth. This is the better lane, and it shows up in nearly everybody who rolls.
That was a perfect shot, and Paul has a little more confidence on the lane.
I'd like to tell the people who are watching, no, don't adjust your television set. It's not backwards. Everybody here is throwing left-handed.
It's a little different from what you normally see.
Had 3 left-handers in the final 5. Whoops. Earl having a little trouble, 3-5-6.
Well, Earl looks like he's trying to get a little quicker, a little more speed on the ball, which he normally doesn't do. I guess lane 18 is really getting to him just a little bit, though.
No. He left the 5. He is open in frame 2 and suddenly finds himself down by 14 pins. But I'll remind you that Tommy Baker was down by 30 pins and had a chance to go ahead by 3 before he opened in frame 6 of match 2. So it's not over yet. But Earl Anthony is at least back on the lane in which he and everybody else is more comfortable. Whoops. Whoops, 6-10.
Well, that time it looks like he got a little slower, but in the event, he just, at the bottom of the swing, just a hair, you could see he pulled the ball. Which actually, he got lucky breaking up the split.
Well, down by 14, now Paul Moser. Pretty nice spot for him to be. But he is on the more difficult of the lanes. If he strikes here, he's up quickly by 24.
Well, this is what he wants. He really wants a strike here to put Earl in a hole and to make him start working twice as hard.
But this is the tough lane to get the strike on. Good looking ball, but he got the strike and he's up by 24.
That puts Earl in a little bit of a hole, and now Paulie's going to his good lane. And it could be a 34-pin deficit for Earl. We'll watch the replay here. A little high on the backswing, and he is playing a little more outside. Outside meaning the first 5 boards of the lane.
I bet he wants it so bad he could taste it. Go up by 34 if he gets it, but he's not going to get it, leaving the 6-pin.
Well, that was like a wall shot or a shaker. You can call it whatever you like. But it looked like he got a little quick, too. Television has a tendency to do that to you. You get that adrenaline flowing so much.
Plus the knowledge that he could really put Earl Anthony in a bind. Not knock him down and out, but be in somewhat control of the match. Had he got it instead, he is up by 23 pins. We've gone through 3.5 frames of our semifinal between Earl Anthony and Paul Moser. And as we said, Paul leads by 23.
The gas guzzler is no longer the American car. It's the American driver. Warming up your car too long wastes gasoline. So the jackrabbit starts.
Could use a tune-up, sir. Next time.
If everybody saved 1 gallon of gasoline a week per car, we'd reduce oil imports 13%. That's why Getty Oil wants to see the American gas guzzler become extinct. That way, we'll all get more miles for our money.
I'm Frank Schroeder. If you're like me, this is the only kind of running you want to do on a business trip. That's why you should stay at a Hilton, because Hilton can put you within walking distance of almost every business, financial, and entertainment center in the country.
Morning, Mr. Shorter. Good morning, Mr. Shorter.
So when it's time to get down to business, why run when you can walk?
There's no place like Hilton.
Well, next week we'll be in Syracuse, New York for the $75,000 Syracuse Open. Bill Spigner is the defending champion there. We'll have bowling, and I hope that Joe Berardi doesn't work with me, and I hope Johnny Petraglia doesn't work with me. I will hope you both get back in the finals, and I have to talk to somebody else.
Okay.
Love to see you down there making those big bucks. And join us next week for more PBA bowling from Syracuse, New York. Right now, the situation. Earl Anthony bowling in frame 4. He is down by 23. He has not had a strike in this match until now.
Well, that was a flawless.
That's like putting you in the front of a national magazine. As soon as I say you haven't done anything, they do it.
Makes a liar out of you. But it's just a matter of time before Earl gets back in the groove and starts striking again.
Well, he was down, as we said, by 23. At one time, 24. A strike here, he'd be down by 13.
Well, that's just how quick a game can turn around. If he strikes here, it's only a 13-pin deficit. Paul would have to start working hard again.
And that's nothing midway through the match, believe me. That's nothing. But he needs this. Well, that's the way to get him.
Well, that's
in
Earl's
bunches.
style. Yeah.
Now Paul Moser feeling a little of the pressure on him, even though he is ahead.
Well, again, this is Paul's tough lane.
Man.
Perfect. It doesn't look too tough now.
Had to have it and got it. A strike, of course, will go up by 23. Seesaw back and forth. The question is, who can keep the pressure on the most? Earl Anthony opened in the second, and that's been the big difference.
Yeah, one bad shot, and it cost him a lot. And I'm looking for Earl to come back.
Oh, the 7.
Well,
as a right-hander, my right, the right-hander usually leaves the 10, and the left-hander usually leaves the 7.
Well, it's the most left pin when you hit the pocket, the 7 or the 10. And that ball just looked like he got a little too fast on it. As you can see, Paulie generates a little more speed at his spares.
And now Earl Anthony, with strikes in frames 4 and 5, with a strike in 6, can only be within 3 pins of Paul Moser. This lane has been very tough for him. Very tough. And he got them all. I thought the 10 may not go, but it finally went.
Well, that's one of the finer breaks in bowling. And we're going to look at it from the back. And absolutely perfect. Perfect extension. Stays down, good knee bend. There's nothing more you can ask for. And if he can get that result every time, well, we're going to have another... Earl's going to have another title to his credit.
Looking for his 4th in a row. And gets it. Oh, is he turning it on? He was down. He is now up by 7 pins. How about that? Earl Anthony down by 23 is now up by 7. It is not over yet. We'll be back at Fairview Park, a lovely spot just outside of Cleveland, Ohio, after these messages.
and change.
You keep it?
Sure. They make enough money off us, right?
You know, I think I'll play sick tomorrow. I feel like goofing off.
Children watch what you do, so watch what you do. Bring the God you worship into your life. For the sake of your child's. A message of Religion in American Life, the Ad Council, and this station.
Yeah, I think Peace Corps is a good thing because it's personal. It's people to people. It's given me a different perspective on the United States and America's role in the world. The past 2 years has been an incredible living experience, and it's something I'm not going to forget, for sure.
It may not be the easiest 2 years of your life, but it could be the most rewarding. Call toll-free 800-424-8580. Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
Here's a big name all over the world, but especially here in Ohio, Jack Nicklaus. We have a Jack Nicklaus golf special coming up. Jack will team with Sean Connery, the former 007, against Ben Crenshaw of Texas and Glenn Campbell. I think most of you know that Glenn Campbell is an outstanding golfer. They'll play at St. Andrews, the home of golf. But I was with Sean Connery one time when he's first starting to play golf, back when he's 007. Oh, it was way back in the 60s. And he said, I just got started, and I think that day he shot a 77. So these folks can all play golf. Crenshaw, Nicklaus, Connery, and Campbell. Paul Moser leaves himself the 7th. He starts the 7th frame down by 7, and now he is down by 8.
That's one of the unfortunate things in bowling now. Paulie's down and can't afford to leave anything on the lane. And he threw the ball up just as best as you possibly can and left the 7th pin.
In truth, we have not seen the kind of scoring we thought we would see here tonight.
Well, lane 18 has been giving everybody a little trouble.
Television, according to you, has been giving everybody a little trouble. Oh, they blame everything on us. Everything on us. Jimmy Certain, our scorekeeper, is happy because Alabama's still #1 in the nation. You know.
Dedicated fan.
Got to keep everybody happy. Paul Moser, he needs a strike, and leaves the 7 again.
Paul's bowling just an exceptional game, and right now he's not getting any breaks.
To show you what's been going on, Earl Anthony opened in frame 2 and yet finds himself up by 9 pins. And he hasn't rolled in the 8th frame yet, where Moser is now. The reason being he's doing so well, he's had strikes in his last 4 frames.
If Earl can strike these next 2 balls, all he'll need in the 10th frame is a mark to shut Paul Moser out. Paul's best is a 227 possible.
Remember, the loser gets $5,000. The winner, Mark Roth, has been warming up until moments ago, as they will go for the $11,000 first prize. The winner of this match, and Mark Roth. Guess what? It's the 7.
Well, it's the same thing that's been happening to Paul. And now all of a sudden it became another little bit closer.
And I tell you, to look ahead, no matter who goes in here, and it looks like it's going to be Earl Anthony, even though there's only an 8-pin difference at the moment. Who knows what's going to happen? Mark Roth was having an awful lot of trouble on lane 18 and warming up. Oh, my!
Well, that's something you rarely see.
Oh, my. Now, folks, let's just do a little bit of refiguring here, because with the open frame, it is now Earl Anthony trailing by 4 pins. Can you beat that? He had 4 strikes. Moser has not managed to strike since 5, but watch this.
We're going to look at this now, and this is, whoever's tuned in, it could be a first on television. Earl doesn't miss too many spares, but he gets the ball right to the edge of the gutter, to the edge of the lane, and it falls right in the gutter.
What do they say? Even bowling is a game of inches. Boy, he needs this. He needs this. It comes back.
Well, Paul has a possibility to strike out for 227. If he does, Earl's best is 223, which will leave him 4 pins short of Paul Moser, and Paul will go on to meet Mark Roth.
That is if Paul Moser strikes out. Right. You'll feel a lot better if this is a good ball on this lane. Ooh, look at the wobbly 7, and it sits there. And Moser takes a good long look.
It's another, it was a great ball Paul threw in the pocket every shot. Something's missing, and he's just not carrying.
I would imagine the one thing he does not want to do is to do what Earl Anthony did with the same shot just a moment ago. And he does not.
Well, Paul is still in a good position. He's still up 3 pins, and if he strikes out, he will get a 216, which will force Earl to double in the 10th.
There's the score as we're through the 9th. And Paul Moser in frame 10. This is where he wanted to finish on this lane and left the 7 again.
That's 5 consecutive 7 pins in a row for Paul Moser, which is something you don't often see. He knows he needed to strike, and he threw it the best possible place in the pocket.
He's only up by 2 pins. What's the old saying of sports announcers? Don't go away, folks. This isn't over yet.
Paul would need 9 pins or better on this ball to force Earl to strike. If he gets 8, Earl will need a spare and a strike to tie or strike to win the game.
Well, can you imagine Earl Anthony, the probability or possibility of winning and opening in 2 frames along the way? That'll put a little on him. Finishing 2:05 for Paul Moser. Now, if Earl Anthony comes in with a strike, and we all know that this is where he opened the last time he was on this lane. He wants the good ball. He wants the good ball. He leaves the 7. Did I hear someone say deja vu?
Well, the same thing that happened to Paul happened to Earl. And there's nothing he can do about it now.
2:05, remember, Paul Moser got. Last time here, Earl missed this. This time he, whoops, goes to the other side of it, but takes it out.
Well, that means that Paul Moser will go on to bowl Mark Roth for the title.
Can you believe that? Paul Moser is the winner, and Earl Anthony did not pull it out because he did open in the 2nd and 8th frames and was winding up on the top lane, which is what they wanted. Left the big split there, the 4, 7, and the 10. And it is Paul Moser, the winner, by the narrowest of margins. And it means that Paul Moser goes on to meet Mark Roth. And at stake is $11,000 first prize. And for Mark Roth, the possibility of his 22nd title. For Paul Moser, the possibility of his 3rd.
We looked at Celica, Accord, and Scirocco. But when we looked at this new Mazda 626, that's all it took.
Just one look. That's all it took. Yeah, just one look. That's all it took.
We really like the way this Mazda 626 performs, not to mention its great mileage. All at a price that makes it really worth looking at.
Yeah, the more you look, the more you like.
This C-141 Starlifter is the backbone of the Military Airlift Command. The people who are trained to maintain it are very important. As a pilot, I depend completely upon their skills. And like me, they are members of the Air Force Reserve, highly skilled and trained to make sure that this aircraft performs its mission. With this kind of training, you too can become a team member. The Air Force Reserve can give you that training.
Call now, toll-free, 1-800-257-1212.
With U.S. Open champion Joe Berardi, I am Jim Simpson. And there in the left-hand corner of your picture is Mark Roth. He was there last week at this time in Greenwood, Indiana, against Joe Berardi, and won a title that put him over $100,000 for 1979. And here's a trivia question. Name the one bowler who has won more than $100,000 3 consecutive years. Answer, you're looking at him, Mark Roth. And whereas Earl Anthony, who is now out to Paul Moser, was the bowler of the year in 74, 75, and 76. Mark Roth has won it in 77, 78, and if he wins here tonight, just about could seal 1979, because already this year he has done an outstanding job. He has Well, he just won so much. Last year, he set the all-time record for most wins in 1 year of 8. Last year, won $134,500. That's the best ever. And this year, he's won $106,617 and could win another $11,000 tonight.
Well, as we see again, Mark is making Paul start on the left, so where he'd finish on the right lane, which is the tougher of the two. Paul.
Oh, sure, 6'10".
Well, Paul just keeps pounding the pocket, hoping they'll go down, and if you stay there long enough, they will. See, it comes down, you work all week, and that comes down to one game. Whoever makes the 12 best shots wins.
Has his spare, and now Mark Roth, who's already won 5 titles this year, 8 last year, 21 overall. Starts out on the top lane and starts out the right way as the toppling 7. You know, they talk about baseball players, a lot of them coming from California or something. Here's Mark Roth, and I'll talk about him in a moment, where he comes from.
Okay, Mark's style is just so awesome. His ball just literally bounces on the lane and then picks up a roll that nobody else on the tour has. Anytime he's around the pocket, it's a good chance it'll strike.
I call him, as far as form is concerned, the Stan Musial of bowling. It's not orthodox, but he gets the job done like that. He is pouring it on.
You'll never see a bowling ball hit the pins harder than Mark Roth's. It's amazing, his percentage of carry. And week after week, he just is top-seeded.
He's up by 10, second frame. Paul Moser had a spare in the first. Left the 6. Now, I wanted to say something. Johnny Petraglia, who usually works with us but was in the finals tonight, Joe Berardi, who is with me right now, and Mark Roth all bowled against each other. So, whereas you get baseball players from California or Florida, bowlers apparently came out of, the Bronx and Brooklyn, New York, and bowled in Jersey.
Well, we basically grew up together, bowled in the same leagues and a lot of the same tournaments, and now we're bowling each other on a Pro Bowlers Tour. So the only thing that's changed is the location.
Moser down by 11 pins. Repeat again, Paul is from Somerset, Massachusetts, and he has won 2 titles in his career. And he said that he's made a change in his timing this fall, I should say, and that's helped him. Now, you'll have to interpret that for me, what change in his timing he made.
Well,
that's what he wanted.
That's it. Basically, sometimes bowlers have a different feeling about the way they're throwing the ball, and a little change here and there, maybe in their footwork or their speed of the ball or their speed of their approach, can give them a better feeling and a little more confidence.
Look at Mark Roth.
Shoves his
You think
fingers.
he's not ready?
Oh, he's raring to go.
Yes, sir. I'll tell you what he did say, and you're with him more than I am, Joe, and that is that mentally he's becoming very fatigued. Very fatigued. And he said he's looking for a couple of days' rest, and if he wins tonight, he's just liable to take him.
Well, bowling on the tour is very mind-boggling at times because of the torrid pace. You'll get 42 games a week, plus your pro-am, your practice session, and when you bowl like Mark, you try and stay on top all the time.
Boy, starts out with 4. How about that? Mark Roth goes 4 consecutive strikes at Paul Moser in this race for $11,000, and for Mark Roth, his 22nd title of his career and his 6th of this year.
When I was a young man starting out in business, I thought that someday I would own the world. So I started to read the Wall Street Journal. It helped. The journal helped. I moved right along in business. But after a few years, I realized that I wasn't ever going to own the world. And you know what? I didn't want to anyway. All I wanted was to do my best. So I kept on reading the Wall Street Journal, and the journal helped. It helped me to do my best. And these days, well, these days I still want to know. I have to know what's going on in business. I want to keep in touch. So I still read the Wall Street Journal, and the Journal still helps. It keeps me in touch. I guess I've spent all my adult life with the Journal. It hasn't failed me yet.
You can get 20 weeks of the Journal for $22. Call 1-800-228-2200. That's 1-800-228-2200. You'll be billed later. Do it now. The Wall Street Journal. It hasn't failed anyone yet.
Here there are other finishers who took a check home, and look at Sliker there at number 9 spot. He was fourth last week in Greenwood, Indiana. Marshall Holman did not make it to the finals, but got $1,850. And here are some of the others who cashed some checks, and boy, they come in handy when you have to live on the road all the time. All right, we're in the finals of the $83,000 Lawson's Open, Fairview Park, Ohio. Mark Roth has 4 straight strikes. Paul Moser is working on a strike and is down 31 pins.
Paulie's got to have this one.
He has it. On the tough lane, cuts the deficit by 10.
Well, as we were talking about earlier, prior to the show, about there being no defense in bowling.
You got to go get it. We were talking to, Joe and I were talking about the fact in golf, you go out and play yourself. I mean, somebody may shoot a lower score. You take a look at the scoreboard there and what Roth has done. But no one tips the deflected pass or anything else. There's nobody really working against you. The same thing is in bowling, as he has left the 6. You do it all yourself. You can blame the pinfall if you want. You can blame the lanes if you want, but it's all you. It's nobody else.
Well, Paulie's got nothing to be ashamed about. He's bowled very well for the last game and a half. He's hitting the pocket, and pins just won't fall.
Well, let us see what Mark Roth does. 4 frames, 4 strikes. Here's one of the most avid hockey fans, New York Ranger hockey fans, and he's the bowling pro for Madison Square Garden and actually teaches the Rangers how to bowl in return for, I would imagine, a few lessons of his own.
In skating lessons.
Oh, there's this 4.
Well, Mark's ball just broke a little too sharply at the end of the lane, resulting in a 4-pin, but right now he's got a 21-pin advantage, and right now I don't think he's too worried. But like Earl and Tom Baker, he could turn around in a frame or 2.
Yeah, we saw Earl Anthony, a great, missed the 7, but Roth is not about to miss the 4. Has a 21-pin lead through 5 frames. Mark actually gets out on the ice, does he?
Well, he's learning. Last year he got out on the ice without skates. But he's trying to work with Rod Gilbert to get skating lessons in return for bowling lessons.
Oh, you know, Gilbert's got to worry about that right thumb if he's a right-hander. And Roth has to worry about creaky ankles if he's a skater. Boy, he throws that ball hard. That was not at all toward the pocket and gets them all. He hit that way wide of the pocket.
Well, that's the result of Mark Roth's ball. It's so awesome that you never know what's going to happen if he hits light. And like I said prior to that, 90% of the time, he's got a good chance to strike.
What's that look at Jimmy Certain is giving us?
Well,
disbelief?
That's about it.
Paul Moser back on the tough lane. He's got to hang in there and does.
Paulie has both lanes pretty well set, and it's just the 7-pin is stopping him. This game, it's the 6-pin.
Now he's back on 17, and the strike, he can cut it to 11 in the 7th frame. Remember, he was way up and then down to Earl Anthony and then went up again and then narrowly squeaked by to make the finals.
It's a good ball.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So he is pulled within 11, and we'll come back in a moment when Mark Roth will be up to bowl in the 7th frame. $11,000 is at stake.
Well, here we are.
Yeah. Well, did you ever think this day would come, Dad? Me going off to college and all?
Nope.
But Dad, I want to thank you for this.
Thank you, Ma. Couldn't send you except she made you sign up for those savings bonds.
Well, I'm sure glad you listened to her for once.
College can come sooner than you think. Join your payroll savings plan and buy bonds.
For years, small farmers across the South worked very hard for very little. Now Vista is changing that. Vista volunteers are helping to organize cooperatives across 11 states. And now there are 30,000 farm families marketing paying crops.
Get a good price!
America needs more Vista volunteers. Put yourself where you're needed. Volunteers in service to America. Call Vista toll-free, 800-424-8580.
Jim Simpson, Joe Barati. Remember, another stop on ESPN's trip along the Pro Bowlers Tour next week in Syracuse, but this weekend a host of football games, including Texas and Texas Tech, and the Whiteman Cup tennis. Much of it live, and there goes Mark Roth again in the seventh.
Well, that was a
21-pin lead.
That was a key shot for Mark because he doesn't want to go in where if Paul does throw 2 more strikes, Mark would be down 9 pins. Mark right now is working at a 230 plus pace.
7 frames, 6 strikes.
Not too bad an average.
Boom, he throws that ball. Look at that there. The pins are just bouncing everywhere.
Well, that's that light hit I talked about. His ball is so strong hitting the pins that it just scatters them.
2 of his last 3 strikes, the ball has not been that close to the pocket. Am I right?
That's right. Well, the amount of power and turn he has on the ball, it's not a necessity to be that deep in the pocket.
Paul Moser, who's been hitting the pocket, must wonder what it is he must do. He grooves it in there nearly every time. Has been leaving pins. And another grooved, and this time he gets them all. 3rd strike in a row for him.
Paul is one of the fighters on tour. He never gives up, never says die, and he's going to try and strike until the 12th frame and force Mark to get them.
He's got 3 straight strikes now. There's the score, the 21-pin difference.
Paulie must have this strike in order to stay within range of Mark Roth.
Yes, he's in range. Well, Mark Roth may win his 6th title of this year, and we may be asking for another re-rack on the same lane. That's on 18. Roth was complaining about this long before the matches began. The 1 and 2 pin, I think, was the set that he didn't like.
Well, psychologically, as much as ineffective what the bowling ball can do, you want to shoot it the best rack possible.
Paul Moser, if he strikes out, will have a 258. If Mark Roth strikes out, and he's in the 9th frame now, 279.
Looks good. Well, you asked for high scores, and
yeah,
I think we got
one. Are we going to get them, huh? Only in the 5th frame has Mark Roth not had a strike. Got a 21-pin lead.
Mark here needs a strike to close Paul Moser out.
I think he may be asking for another re-rack.
Yeah, he is.
This on the other lane. This is the first time anybody's asked for a re-rack on this lane.
Yeah, well, he's in a crucial situation now.
I can't. Well, what can I tell? But I'm looking from up here at an angle what he didn't like. But the last time he asked for a re-rack on 18, he came back with a strike. And if he gets a strike here, it's all over. It'll be PBA title number 22 and his 6th of the year. And I think he'll get the PBA Bowler of the Year award for the 3rd consecutive year. He can do all that on 1 strike.
In the event that he gets 9 and a spare.
And he's left the 10.
Now, if he makes the spare and gets a strike, it forces Paul Moser to strike out, and we will have a tie game. We're going to take a look at this ball. This ball hit the pocket well, and you could see how much power he puts into the turn. And Mark expects a strike, but he leaves the 10-pin.
Back now, and there he goes and covers the 10.
Mark now needs a strike to force Paul Moser to strike out to tie.
Now remember, listen to what Joe Barati is saying. This is not over, despite that big plus 20 there.
Well, you can pick up that in the 10th frame.
So Mark Roth really wants and needs a strike here. This is the lane where he should get it, and does. Winds up with a 258. Now, here's the situation. If Paul Moser gets strike 1, 2, and 3 in the 10th frame, his total will be 258. It would be a tie, and they go back and roll 9 and 10.
They bowl the 9th and 10th frame roll off, a maximum of 60 pins.
But he's got to have the strike.
It looks pretty good.
Got to have the strike. There's one. Hang in there, folks. He needs 2 more. And if we know it and you know it, you know he knows it. But Joe described him as a never-say-die, gutty competitor. All 5 feet 4 inches of it. This is the tough lane. One more strike. And we will have a playoff.
You couldn't ask for a better finale than this.
You're going to think this is how easy it is to be a commentator all the time. Just sit up here and have all these exciting matches.
Well, as far as the 9th and 10th frame roll-offs, if Paul does strike now, we will go into that. And 9th and 10th frame roll-offs mean you bowl the 9th and 10th frame with the maximum you can get is 60
Remember,
pins.
this is the tough. He left the 7 pin and winds up with 257. Mark Roth has won his 6th of this year, 22 on his career by a single pin and $11,000, and maybe the PBA Bowler of the Year for the 3rd consecutive year. It is all over, and we'll come back. But now, from Fairview Park in Ohio, this pause, there's our winner, and this is the final ball of Paul Moser that left 1 pin standing to lose 258 to 257. Watch the 7. That's the margin of victory.
If anyone knows how to build a championship tennis ball, it's Penn. In fact, Penn makes more tennis balls than anyone in America. And tests them electronically for quality and response to give the serious player the kind of tennis ball he demands. Long play, lively bounce, and consistent performance off the racket. Penn, the ball to play when you're serious about tennis.
Weekends were made for Michelob.
It's for real.
Well, that calls for something special.
Hey, Chico! Michelob all around.
Make your own weekend a little more special with a smooth and mellow taste of Michelob.
Michelob?
What's the occasion? I've met the woman. Again?
Weekends were made for Michelob.
Yeah.
All right, we're back at Fairview Park in Ohio. I'm Jim Simpson, and let me call out a man, I'm sure that you all know this, that Mark Roth has been the Pro Bowler of the Year for the last 2 years, that he's won 5 tournaments until tonight this year, that he won last week, and I think tonight he has not only won $11,000, but the Pro Bowler of the Year award for the 3rd consecutive year. That's my opinion. Mark Roth. Mark, it is your game. And everybody watching here and on television knows it. But sometimes you weren't exactly in the pocket, and the pins just went. The pins went anyway.
I threw one shot. I think it was on lane 17. I just lofted it a little too far, and I just had enough turn on to get it back, and tripped out to 258. And I think that was the turning point of the match. If I don't carry that, Paul would have beat me.
Well, before the match, when you were warming up, practicing hours before the match when you got here, you indicated to me that you were a little mentally tired. You had it together tonight, but what are your plans now that you had your 6th and your 2nd in a row?
Well, I'll probably go home tomorrow and see what happens. I have a day and a half home to relax, and I'll probably go to Syracuse next week.
You know, before the match, he said, if I win tonight, that's all. I'm not going to go to Syracuse. Now he says a day and a half off. You change your mind. You go back to Syracuse. Try for a 3rd in a row, right?
Well, I've had 3 in a row one time before. I think it was 2 years ago. I'd like to try it one more time and see what happens next week.
All right, a vice president of Lawson's. I'd like to call out Jeff Ruoff, who has, don't trip now, Jeff, who has this trophy.
Mark, I'd like to thank you very much for making Lawson's first involvement with bowling as a sport a very exciting finish. Congratulations to you. Hope we'll see you again.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Lawson's for hosting this tournament, and I frequented your store this week down the street picking up Pepsi every night.
All right, where's check, will you? And come to Syracuse. Our congratulations to Paul Moser. Congratulations to you, Mark Roth. I'm Jim Simpson with Joe Barati. Goodbye.
This is ESPN, the Entertainment and Sports Programming Network.
Seeing 118 pounds between Joe Gonzalez of Cal State Bakersfield and Gene Mills of Syracuse. Gonzalez ranked number 1, Mills number 2, but earlier this season the situation was different before Gonzalez won their first match. I asked Mills if revenge would be a factor.
Sure. Everything I've got. If I go out there and if I lose, he's going to deserve it because I'm not giving him nothing.
The earlier match between Gonzalez and Gene Mills took place in an East-West All-Star meet and did not count against the official records of either wrestler. So both wrestlers come into this final match with undefeated records on the season. Very briefly, remember a collegiate wrestling match takes place in 3 periods. The first one 2 minutes, the second and third periods 3 minutes each. In the earlier match, Gonzalez defeated Mills by a point in the closing seconds of the third period.
Jim, this is the classic struggle. Joe Gonzalez, the takedown specialist on our left. Gene Mills, the mat wrestler, the guy that can win on the mat. But Mills scores the first takedown. He's ahead 2-0. He takes Gonzalez to the mat, and he's in control.
Most experts pick Gonzalez to win again. He is ranked number 1 in this weight class by both major national wrestling publications. Right now, though, it is Gene Mills in control.
That's a surprise. I expected Joe Gonzalez to establish his superiority on the standing wrestling. Now he reverses Mills. He ties the score at 2-2. But look at him. He lets him go.
All right, keep going.
So that puts Mills ahead 3-2. As each time Gonzalez lets Mills up, he gives him a point.
It's been Gonzalez's strategy throughout the tournament and throughout the year to score the takedowns. And here we see him again, in on a single leg, trying to take Mills to the mat. But Mills is tenacious. He won't let Gonzalez score.
If there's a difference in wrestling style, there's also a difference in demeanor on the mat. Mills in the orange, by far the more demonstrative and emotional wrestler. You can see things more on his face.
Referee Siddons just calls a stalemate when neither wrestler can improve his situation. Now they go back to the center, still in the neutral position.
Gene Mills of Syracuse in the orange. In his first trip to the finals, he's a junior in college. He's finished 3rd and 4th in this tournament before. Gonzalez, a junior college transfer, in his first year at Cal State Bakersfield.
Joe Gonzalez really controlling the situation right now, but look, Mills starts to come behind. Then we see Gonzalez dropping in underneath. Again, he's got Mills in trouble. When you've got a man sitting on his behind in that situation, you should score.
And that's the end of the first period. So Gene Mills and Joe Gonzalez get up, with Mills of Syracuse leading it 3-2.
You lose. Let's play again.
Sometimes I wish these batteries wouldn't last so long. But this is no regular battery. This is alkaline, ever-ready alkaline. Of all leading brands, you can't buy a longer-lasting all-purpose power cell than 9-volt ever-ready alkaline for the typical electronic game. So when you want long-lasting energy for these games, get 9-volt ever-ready alkaline. Call ever-ready alkaline regular. I dare you.
You're a strong finisher, Pat. Am I too strong? Then shower up with Irish Spring. The double deodorant soap. The very one. To get a strong man fresh. Look, and these green and white stripes are 2 deodorants to get a man fresh and clean. What a fine fresh scent.
That's why I use it too.
Irish Spring with 2 deodorants gets a strong man fresh.
Ella Fitzgerald is listening to Chuck Mangione while we're recording him on Memorex with MRX3 Oxide. Now Ella's going to listen again, but can she tell if it's Chuck live or the Memorex recording we just made?
Beats me!
Yes, Memorex!
Reproduction so true we can ask, is it live or is it Memorex?
Next August, I'll be an air traffic controller. Guaranteed.
10 months from now, I'll be training in electronics. Guaranteed.
Even if you're still in school, you can join the Army now and take up to 12 months to report for duty, with your choice of training guaranteed in writing.
Next September, I'll be in Europe. Guaranteed.
This is the Army, and we're giving guarantees. Call this toll-free number now.
NCAA Wrestling Championships ready for the second period of the first match, the 118-pound championship. The first period begins in a neutral position, but each succeeding period begins in the wrestler's position on the mat. And having won the coin flip, Gene Mills has elected to be on top here.
Mills, of course, wants to try and keep Gonzalez on the mat because this is his game. He likes to wrestle down here on the mat, make Gonzalez carry his weight, as well as look for the back points. He's going to try and turn Gonzalez toward his back.
Mills of Syracuse in the orange, Gonzalez of Cal State Bakersfield in the blue. Remember, Gonzalez is the favorite in the match, ranked number 1 coming in.
Mills is, of course, leading at this point, 3-2, and he wants to knock Gonzalez down, take him off his base, but he's in a little trouble now. Looks like Gonzalez has got an opportunity to get an escape.
Has 1 point. They're both
and
up.
There's the escape for Gonzalez, tying the score at 3.
Now they come back to the center, and they will be in the neutral position. Each time that Gene Mills allows Joe Gonzalez to get up on his feet, he is losing a bit of an advantage because Mills, as Ken Kraft continually points out, is stronger when on the mat.
Another beautiful move by Joe Gonzalez into a double leg situation. Standing now, he's changed to the single leg. He'll try and get that foot high in the air and trip Mills to the mat. Does he have it? It's close, but no. No takedown, still 3-3. Mills is really battling here with the good balance, stopping Gonzalez's attacks.
Both of these men are close to 118 pounds in weight, but if you looked at them standing side by side, you'd think that Joe Gonzalez is 10 or 15 pounds heavier. He is that much more impressive a physical specimen.
There he goes again, in on that single leg. You won't see a better technician than Joe Gonzalez. And there's the takedown by Joe Gonzalez.
He leads 5-3 now.
And he lets Mills go. 5-4. Gonzalez leads.
Gonzalez again, in effect, giving up the 1 point for an escape in order to create an opportunity for another 2-point takedown. And he's getting close to it.
Gonzalez is in again. He likes that single leg. He scores the takedown. Mills right out for the escape. And look at Mills continue right behind. And another takedown. That ties it at 7.
So we had 5 points scored in a matter of less than 10 seconds. Gene Mills was momentarily down in the match 7-4. He's tied it back up at 7-7 with an escape. And then as Gonzalez apparently lost concentration, a quick takedown. Now they're on the mat where Mills, once again, is the stronger wrestler.
Another point-scoring factor is riding time. If one wrestler controls his opponent a minute more than his opponent controls him, he scores a point. And that can be a critical point in a close match.
Right now, Gene Mills is headed toward a possible 1-minute riding time advantage. So he would stand to gain the point in this match.
You're down.
Let's look at that quick exchange of points that tied the score. Joe Gonzalez is in on the takedown. He gains control. 2 points for the takedown. Immediately, Mills gets to the neutral position and the 1-point escape. And then Mills continues right behind to gain control with a 2-point takedown.
So Gene Mills came from 3 points down back to a tie score at 7-7 in a matter of seconds. And that is where things stand right now. And that's the end of the second period. There'll be 3 minutes to go when we come back.
Let's see. I believe you're down, right? Syracuse down.
California's up.
Final period, showdown for the NCAA championship at 118 pounds. You heard the official say that man, Joe Gonzalez of Cal State Bakersfield, will have the advantage in the wrestler's position to start the third period because Gene Mills of Syracuse chose it at the top of the second period. Immediately, an escape for Mills. Now he leads 8-7, and Gonzalez will go for the takedown.
Gonzalez continues. He says, I'm going with my strategy. I'm better on my feet. I've got confidence on my feet. I'll let you go even to give you the lead, and then I'm going to score the takedown.
See the tenacity of Gene Mills as he tries to shoot for a takedown. Getting underneath Gonzalez.
Gonzalez is blocking him well, though. He counters well. He attacks well.
Score is 8-7 right now, favor of Gene Mills of Syracuse. Remember, these wrestlers have met once before during the course of the season, and Gonzalez won a one-point match.
Gonzalez is in. He's got him up in the air, and he puts him down. A two-point takedown for Joe Gonzalez.
And in this seesaw battle, Gonzalez now leads 9-8, and he lets Mills up again. So the score is tied now at 9-9.
Again, he's going to stay with it. Now watch his movement. He's the man that's in control. There he goes to the single leg, to Mills' left leg. He's going behind, and he scored. Does he score? No. Referee says no. No takedown yet. He's got to get control. And there he does.
2 more points for Joe Gonzalez, and now his lead is stretched to 2 at 11-9.
He lets it go. It's 11-10. Gonzalez still is going to play the takedown game.
11-10 may turn out, in effect, in this situation to be a tie match because Gene Mills, at this point, has more than a minute's advantage in riding time.
It's getting to that point where the riding time, in fact, will be a point because Gene Mills does have a considerable amount, and there isn't that much time left in this match. Just about a minute. Mills now knows he's got to shoot. He's coming after Gonzalez, but he's not scoring.
1 minute. 1 minute.
1 minute to go. Joe Gonzalez of Cal State Bakersfield leading Gene Mills of Syracuse 11-10.
You've got to rest a little bit more.
And there's a warning against Gonzalez. The official
warning, and the next penalty would be a point. No points on that warning, though. Now we see Gonzalez in again on the takedown. Will he get it?
He just got it. It's now 13-10, and Joe Gonzalez, with only 40 seconds to go, has a 3-point lead over Mills.
Escape again by Mills, and Mills comes behind for a takedown.
Now that ties it at 13-13. Remember that Mills will get the riding time point, so he stands to win the match now.
The score is now actually 14-13. Gonzalez has to get an escape to tie this match that could send it into overtime. Can he score? He's moving. He's going for it. He's on his back. That's a 2-point near fall.
2 more points awarded to Gene Mills, but he had already won the match. He did it by forestalling the last escape effort on the part of Joe Gonzalez. You see there the emotion of victory on Gene Mills' face. He has avenged his only loss of 1979, and in his third try, he has won his first NCAA championship. Final score, 16 points for Gene Mills of Syracuse, 13 for Joe Gonzalez in an exciting seesaw battle.
At the end of the match, Gonzalez needed a escape to tie the match. He goes to a sit-out, he gets caught in a suck-back, and that is the 2-point near fall for Mills.
Americans see the smaller car as their salvation. What they don't know is that 4- and 6-cylinder engines rev higher, run hotter, and are murder on oil. That's why they need Castrol. In lab tests, the 2 leading motor oils showed significant breakdown in viscosity. Castrol didn't. And that's important, because after the motor oil breaks down, who knows what could break down next? Castrol, the oil engineered for smaller cars.
Since you answer, your money can buy.
And now from Budweiser, the Taste Buds.
Get down! You can boost it! Get thirsty! I'm all hustled out, man. Hey, Dancing King, what are we gonna do about this thirst thing? Get buds!
Why do you think they call them taste buds anyway?
Monsieur, why are you driving a Volkswagen Rabbit?
Because it is so French.
But the Rabbit isn't a French car.
Not a French car. French.
I don't get it.
She is very rapid. She handles extraordinaire and she's...
She. The Rabbit's just a good basic car.
Oui, and the soufflé is just eggs.
Volkswagen does it again.
Well, that's terrific that you feel that way about him after that kind of contact, and it was really an inspiring match. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Jim, you gotta love that kid. What a battler.
And what a match to set the tone.
Hi, I'm Randy Rasmussen.
And I'm Sam DeLuca. This Halloween, give McDonald's Goblin Goodies a safe, fun treat and help those less fortunate, too.
Every time you buy a book of 10 Goblin Goodies for $1, each one good for a regular-sized soft drink,
McDonald's will donate 50 cents to the New York Ronald McDonald House, a home away from home for the families of children being treated for leukemia and other serious illnesses.
Buy McDonald's Goblin Goodies.
And keep Ronald McDonald House running.
The one thing he's good at is the one thing nobody understands.
Janet, how do you feel about what I'm doing?
What are you doing?
I went to medical school because my family wanted me to. I went to law school because Janet wanted me to. Now I'm running because I want to.
You never give up, do you?
Not if I get a chance, no.
Running. It's about having the courage to be what you are.
I'm going to win that race.
Michael Douglas and Susan Anspach.
Starts Friday, November 2nd at Universal Blue Ribbon Theaters everywhere.
Discover the power of extra strength Windex.
Beautiful shine and no streaks. What's in this stuff?
Today's Windex has more grease cutting power.
Chrome really sparkles. What's in this stuff?
Look at my counter shine. What's in this stuff?
Windex has more ammonia D with its solvents and detergents to cut greasy dirt better without streaks.
Whatever it is, it works.
Extra strength Windex. It has the power to shine a lot more than windows.
When it comes to clean blades, Track 2 doesn't come close.
Atra doesn't come close.
Why are thousands of Track 2 and Atra users switching to Schick Ultrex? Watch. One push pushes out soap and stubble. Your twin blades start clean, sharp, shave after shave. Look, Ultrex slides on Track 2 razors, clicks on Atra razors.
Now this is really clean shaving.
With one push cleaning, nothing comes close to Schick's Super 2 Ultrex.
If a man's slacks fit him too close for comfort, if he just can't stand to sit, then he needs action slacks from Levi's Sportswear, perhaps the most comfortable slacks a man can wear. The waistband and fabric stretch to give you more room when you need it.
Great.
Comfortable?
Comfortable. I could sit through a double feature now.
Oh.
Action slacks from Levi's Sportswear, where quality never goes out of style.
You can feel us coming now, a fresh look on the scene, with a whole new style of living, light and crisp and clean. That's why now we say the age of 7-Up is here, cause we love that crisp, refreshing taste, so light and crystal clear. Move it up, look it up. Look it up! America is turning 7-Up, reaching up, feel it up. America is turning 7-Up.
Port of call, South Pacific.
Liberty call.
The Navy. See a recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
Can you feel a difference between the 19 3/4-cent Bic shaver and a Track 2? We went to the Cheeks of America to check it out.
No difference. I can't tell the difference.
To me, there's absolutely no difference.
In our test, 58% found the Bic Shave equal to or better than Track 2's. Yet 4 Bic Shavers are an incredible 79 cents. Why spend more? Most men we tested felt
No difference.
What about the price?
Big difference.
Bruce Jenner for the Minolta XG1.
The Minolta XG1 35mm camera is so automatic, I can keep taking pictures while my friend Bill rides his bike from shadow to sunlight. The XG1 changes the exposure not just automatically, but continuously. Minolta's continuous automatic exposure system helps give you the pictures you never thought you could take at a price you never thought you could afford. The Minolta XG1, the automatic choice in automatic cameras.
Mr. Green?
Yeah.
You need any help?
Mm-mm.
Want my Coke?
No.
Really, you can have it.
Okay. Thanks.
That's the way it should be. I like to say.
See you around.
The whole world smiling with me. Coca-Cola as life. Have a Coke and a...
Wow, thanks, Mean Joe.
This is ESPN, the Entertainment and Sports Programming Network.